Let me start by saying this episode is dedicated to Rhaenys, the queen that never was, the realest by heart. All right, so welcome to the Captain for Creativity channel. I am coming at you with House of the Dragon, season 2, episode 4, which showed the battle at Rook's Rest, and it was everything we were waiting for and more. Right, so if you're new to this channel, welcome. Please like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And if you're returning, thank you so much for rocking with us. We get into a lot of things, and we got to get into this House of Dragon episode because it was so good. So, you see Damon having another fever dream down to the mess that is Harrenhal. And it's interesting to see what is happening with David because there are some theories, that say that he is like a spiritual being, could be, coming into this new phase of his life. So when we saw that prophecy last week where Alice says, you basically gonna end here. I feel like the old Damon is dying there, but we know he's gonna go on, and do a lot more things. So I think this is like the birth of the new like spiritual Damon. I'm not sure if he's gonna have powers like Bran per se and be like, three-eyed kind of guy, but Damon is definitely having some kind of spiritual awakening, and he's in this, fever dream where he sees the young Rhaenyra. Shout out to Millie Alcock, and he can't understand what she's saying at first, but once he realized that she's talking smack about him, about her father slash his brother Viserys loving her more than him and whatnot, he just went back to his cold-blooded, hooded ninja ways and just cut her head off in the dream. But the head just keeps talking to him and says a raven is coming. And in Game of Thrones land, ravens, send the messages, but it's usually not great news. And sure enough, Damon wakes up with actual blood on his hands. So again, something or someone is happening to him. Who knows if, he's awakening himself or if that Alice Rivers witch is helping him wake up. But then you see Simon Strong greet him and tell him what, the usurper King Aegon and Sir Crappy Cole got going on in the war front, since he tells Damon that them, green people left King's Landing a fortnight ago, and they've been taking castles and territories for the Greens fairly swiftly. So, the guys telling Damon, listen, you're not going to have time to raise that army like you want, especially if you're just going to be in bed, not doing nothing. So Damon tries to meet Lord Tully so he can use, his powers to order the Riverland people basically to bend the knee to Rhaenyra. But Lord Tully has been on the sick and shedding list for a while now for his bad bowels and general bad health. So Damon meets his grandson instead, and he gets to encouraging the boy to take a pillow and end his grandfather's misery and go on and become the new Lord of the Riverlands. But the boy refuses. So Damon's like, I can't do nothing with you if you're not going to be cutthroat like me. So Damon leaves in a huff about finding better men. And then Simon Strong kind of silently, congratulates the boy for not being cold-blooded like that and honoring his grandpappy in spite of Damon's evil advice. Then you see Rhaenys meeting the sea snake's secret bastard son, Alan. And she's examining his face like, yep, that's his eyes, that's his nose. And peeping that, Alan's definitely Sea Snake Jr., right? But while she's meeting with Alan, Lord Corlys rolls up on their meeting and is like, what y'all two doing? I'm not supposed to be, uncovering my business like this. So then Corlys and Rhaenys talk about bringing Alan up properly into the light, and maybe raising him and welcome him into the family more and stop hiding him as a bastard amongst the small folk. But then Rhaenys also says that Bela is calling her to help out in Dragonstone since, them people trying to eat the children alive, right? So next you see Alicent And she's getting her next batch of Plan B tea. And you know that Maester is sick of her because she guzzling down this tea, but she's pretending that the Plan B tea is for somebody else. And so the Maester's giving her instructions like, this might give you stomach aches, or whoever you pretending, is about to take it. And she's like, yeah, I'm going to check on the girl and see if she gets stomach aches. And then she gonna start to get to buttering up the Maester, talking about how he's so loyal, he been serving for a while. And then she asks if, the Maester believes that Viserys wanted Aegon to rule. And the Maester's like, I don't know. Can I go? She's like, okay, whatever. Because, like I said, she been guzzling down this Plan B tea, and she got to go guzzle down some more because she's in her whole face right now, right? So then we see the Black Small Council, and they are acting up because the kids and Jacaerys are just fighting for their life, and Rhaenyra and Daemon are missing. So Rhaenys is trying to help the kids out, but even though Baela's being helpful and warning them that Sir Crappy Cole and the Greens are creeping up on them in the forest, they're doubting her, and then Jacaerys gets some bass in his voice on the haters when they start questioning Baela's intel, and he stands up, for Baela and says, they wouldn't know nothing without her. And Baela also stands up for herself and says, they should get their own dragon and see if they can help out, because obviously only the Valerian blooded people can do that. So kind of like mocking them a little bit, but they're really wilding. And Jacaerys tells them they're not going to play in Baela's face and act like she didn't help out big time by catching the movements of the green side, right? But then the council starts shading Daemon for being sneaky at Harrenhal, not really telling them what he got going on. And then they start shading Rhaenyra for being missing and saying that they don't really have a real leader there, so they all can't make real moves anyway. And then thank God for Jesus, because the sea snake comes in and gets them all together while Rhaenyra is still on her secret mission. So then you see Sir Crappy Cole talking mad ish about people joining against Rhaenyra, and he's big mad and big bitter, calling Rhaenyra the whore of Dragonstone to the people of House Darkland. And I said, I know this professional side ninja and $2 John Crow with his cheap bowl Caesar cut is not running down on Queen Rhaenyra like this unprovoked. But then I got instant satisfaction when the Lord of the Darkland House spat in Crappy Cole's face and read him for filth about not deserving his white cloak. And the Lord of Darkland refused to join him. So what Sir Crappy Cole gonna do but cut his head off? And I really wish Baela would have Dracarys him last episode. But we then see Sir Crappy Cole order everyone to head northeast. And then Alan's brother Gwaine then reads him about maybe not knowing that Harrenhal's in the west, since he was born in the slums of Dorne, probably far away from the Riverland, so he don't know that they're supposed to be going west if they head to Harrenhal. But Sir Crappy Cole's like, no, we heading east because he wants to go to Rook's Rest instead, which Aemon reveals to the usurper, King Aegon, and the Green Small Council, who are upset at the news that Daemon took Harrenhal. And then Aemon explains that if they take Rook's Rest, Dragonstone will be cut off. Now, if you see here, Dragonstone and Driftmark are a little bit away from the mainland. They're kind of close to each other, but the closest mainland territory between Dragonstone and King's Landing would be Rook's Rest, right? And it's a smaller, not really well defended castle. And that lord is at, Queen Rhaenyra's council right now. So really, it's a very easy and very strategic point to get instead of Harrenhal, right? But Aegon is, concerned about the look of things and how big Harrenhal is. So it's like, not head to Harrenhal. And Aemon is saying, no, man, we got to take Rook's Rest because Dragonstone's going to be cut off. And then everybody's kind of agreeing with him, listening more to Aemon. And it's clear that Kristen Cole has them orders too. So Aegon realizes that actually Aemon and Sir Crappy Cole have been messaging one another. And the two green military minds who wear the pants in the war are them too and not him. So it's stressful to watch. But then the two brothers go and start speaking Valerian at each other down to the council meeting. And if it wasn't for the subtitle, none of us wouldn't know what they saying. And I don't think the people on the council know what they saying to each other either. But basically, it's a dick measuring contest. And Aemon was shading Aegon and reading him for filth about not really having much business planning the military side of things. He's like, don't you have, you know, wicked kings guard people to install and whorehouses to go to and, you know, little small petty stuff that you always been doing to go and do. So Aemon wins, you know, the little showdown verbally, you know, between the brothers, and Aegon is clearly not cut out to lead. And Aemon been wanting his lick back for all the bullying and all the recent embarrassment down to the brothel. And Larys is just eating it up while the brothers, you know, are fighting and disagreeing. And Larys has another seed, which stresses me out because he is happy that Aegon is seeing in real time that his brother and family don't see it for him. So his fake rumor last week was somewhat true. So then he goes to Alicent to celebrate with her toe jam, but finds her having a forced miscarriage from that Plan B tea. And he sees for his own self that she forgot to put up the teacup and you know, the Plan B cap box. So he knows that smell. He knows that she been hoeing for sure, but she lies and says she didn't ate too much pie. He then asks if she's worried about Sir Crappy Cole, and she says that everyone should pray for him because he's the king's hand. And then he sees that she was trying to look through history books, probably looking for the Song of Ice and Fire that Rhaenyra told her about. But Larys then asks her if she's, you know, thinking about Viserys' intentions and questioning what Viserys wanted, since Viserys was all about the history. And Alicent just proves how soulless and evil she has become. Because when Alicent was a little girl, she definitely bought into the patriarchy and everything that her daddy said and what the church said, you know. But now that she's older, she's so jaded, and she's basically saying that, listen, Viserys' wishes, intentions, and significance died with him, because whoever wins this fight now is going to win it all, and the fans on either side of the Targaryen civil are going to think whatever they want to think. She don't care, knowing full well that her side is in the wrong for real. And you know she knows because she's trying to look for the Song of Ice and Fire, right? Then you see Daemon again in that haunted house-based mess that is Harrenhal, and he formally meets and talks to Alice Rivers while she's making her potions and telling Daemon about the history of Harrenhal and how they cut down all the heart trees and weirwood trees that made the land spiritual and special. And then Alice hands Daemon what she claimed was a sleep potion, and I could not believe my eyes when that fool actually drank it. You saw her not washing her hands and mashing down all them things in the mortar or whatever. And of course, after he drinks it, he don't know what happened. Basically, he teleports to a table where he's talking to the leader of the Blackwood army, Willem Blackwood. He don't even remember summoning the dude or how he got there. And he is listening to Willem Blackwood talk, and Willem Blackwood admits that he had wanted to marry Rhaenyra when she was looking for a man before she married Laenor. And then Daemon gets to imagine his ex-wife Laena pouring his drink in his cup. So he's definitely tripping as the Blackwood commander asks him to send his dragon to rain fire on the Brackens in exchange for the Blackwoods joining his army. And I'm just like, the Blackwoods will never let the Brackens rest. And that's how I feel about Kristen Cole. So next you see Aegon at another council meeting where they start praising Sir Crappy Cole and calling him a kingmaker before Aegon gets in his feelings and storms out and finds Alicent looking around the king's room for more of the books. And he's like, what are you doing in here? And she's like, I'm looking for the books. Where did you put them? And then he's like, I got rid of them. And she's like, of course you stupid idiot would get rid of hundreds of years of history that we can't get back again. And then Aegon was like, well, I said I moved them. I didn't, like, you know, destroy them. So then Alicent realized that he's in his feelings, and he does want to talk about his feelings. So basically, he gets to explain how nobody's listening to him or respecting him. And Allison just is tired of him too, and then explains that, listen, the crown doesn't suddenly give you wisdom just because you put a piece of jewelry on your head. So you need to listen and learn, since everybody around is smarter than Aegon. And she basically tells him to his face that everybody schemed very hard for him to be on the throne, and she even ruled the land for years while Viserys was sick. So he needs to sit back, shut up, and listen to everybody around him. And I said, Aegon really don't know his mammy, because he looked at her like she had three heads, and she looked at him like he was just a dummy, and she was sick of him. And then you see Sir Caprico's army rushing to the Battle of Rooks. And Allison's brother Gwaine is tired of Sir Caprico like everybody else is. And they chopping down trees and trying to rush over there. And that brother's trying to talk sense into him. It's like, listen, slow down. Stop going too close to Dragonstone. There is dragons there. And Cole says, we're attacking anyway. Let's go. And Gwaine is like, I'm not finna die because this fool. Then you see Rhaenyra come back from her secret King's Landing meeting, and Jacaerys is letting her have it. He's like, where were you? We've been, doing all this. And then Rhaenyra says she wants to maintain peace, but now she knows there's no other path than fighting, and people need to stop mistaking her caution for weakness, because she's willing to go ride out on her own dragon herself. And then Jacaerys says, nah, you're the queen. Don't do that. He says he's more than happy to go and fight. And then Rhaenyra says, no, you're not dying. I already done lost a son. And then Rhaenys steps up, the queen that never was, the amazing, just wonder that she is. And she's like, listen, Meleys is the biggest and the baddest dragon, and I am down to ride for all of y'all, so I'm going. And while, Rhaenys has a cute scene bonding with her dragon, getting Meleys ready for war, Rhaenyra sits Jacaerys down and tells him the Song of Ice and Fire prophecy, and about how the Targaryens need to be protectors and unite the realm against their common foe, the evil White Walkers. So she's like, she's not trying to bring war, because that's their biggest fight, is to, keep everybody together. But because of the way the Greens are acting, she's like, now she knows she has to send dragons to keep everybody together. But the main point when he gets to rule is that they have to keep everyone united against the bigger threat that Aegon, had prophesied about. So then you see the other Aegon the Stupid. He randomly gets on his dragon to head to Rook's Rest to get some self-esteem about himself. And Rhaenys and Meleys has a cute bond, and you see that, Aegon has a cute bond with Sunfire too. So then you see Sir Caprico with his army starting to freak out once they see Meleys and that big ass dragon in the sky. And then Meleys gets to Dracarys in the green troops, and Sir Caprico starts to send a signal for the horns to go get Vhagar and Aemond and counter the black offense led by Meleys and Rhaenys. But Aemond don't want to go just yet. He's like, these idiots, why they calling me so early? And he's actually more cunning. He's not listening to Kristen Cole's whims, right? But then he sees Aegon fly up through the sky past him, and then Aemond, first you could tell he's annoyed, because now since the king's on the battlefield, everybody got to protect the king. But then you see Aemon just goes in it to win it, because now with all the confusion and fighting, I definitely think that he peeped that he had a chance to get rid of a whole bunch of, people, green and black side, So then Aegon rolls up and his dragon tries to fight Meleys, but Meleys starts rocking Aegon's dragon Sunfire, right? And then you're going to see that monster grandma dragon Vhagar and Aemond roll up on both Rhaenys on Meleys and Aegon on Sunfire. And then to Aegon's surprise, but no surprise, Vhagar gets a shout in Dracarys, even though Aegon is right there. But Vagar and Aemon are not playing around with nobody, not even their own brother Aegon. And poor Sunfire was a casualty of that too, because Aemon got his look back for the bullying and the disrespect of the brothel for sure. Because he watched Aegon burn and fall like that out in public, and Sunfire didn't have a chance. But first, Meleys attacking him, and then Vagar helping finish the job with that Dracarys blast. So Aegon and Sunfire was basically out for the count. Then you see Meleys and Rhaenys lock in and go up against Vagar after Sunfire and Aegon was like, we falling now, we can't get up, dog. So it was thrilling watching a two-way dragon fight turn into a three-way dragon fight and then back to a two-way dragon fight. Because Rhaenys, gets to securing her dragon harness and she tells Meleys to attack that old big burly Vagar, and then Meleys, is down to fight, so she gets to scratching the mess out of Vagar's belly, and then Vagar was breathing fire and stomping down on everything and everyone to get back at Meleys good. And I felt sorry for all them troops during the dragon fight. They were all getting burnt and squashed, but in the end, the one I felt the most sorry for was Rhaenys and Meleys when Vagar got to chomping down on Meleys' neck. And then the way Meleys looked back at Rhaenys like, all right, dog, this is the end, but I'm sorry, I love you, And they just both dropped down to the ground before Vagar and Aemon did the big Dracarys that sent Meleys and Rhaenys to Jesus. So then you see Sir Caprico finally get up after having gotten the wind knocked out of him by the dragons during the fight. And he's used to war, but he's definitely not used to these dragons warring, because he didn't even know what was up from down. And he was like, where's the king? We gotta find him, But by the time he gets to, knocking down the burnt bodies and ash and going through everything, he finds Aemond rolling up on a burnt Aegon with his sword out, and Sunfire is just not moving to protect nothing either, because he's like, he got half his wing torn off basically, so he can never fly again. And basically Aegon lived, but he's just burnt up. And you see Aemond pick up the special White Walker killing dagger that Viserys had passed down, which basically symbolized that Aemond is about to take Aegon's spot and take up basically the leadership of the castle, because now Aegon is on the sick and shut-in list officially for the horrible burns that he got all over his body in the fall, broke a bunch of his bones. And that was the episode. So when I tell you this was worth the wait, Sisqo would be proud, since they really unleashed the dragons this episode with that 3-dragon fight. And the battle at Rook's Rest was a total trap for the Blacks. It seems like in the show the official trap was just for Vagar to roll up on Meleys, because I guess Vagar's so big they thought that Vagar could do the trick. But with Aegon joining too, Aegon and Sunfire became a casualty. So in a way, even though the Greens kind of seemed to win because they got the castle, it was a big loss for the Greens, because Sunfire is basically out of commission in terms of flying, because that wing is damaged forever. And according to the book, Meleys sent 800 green soldiers to Jesus with that Dracarys. So shout out to Meleys, and rest in peace to Rhaenys. They've been having a feud for Rhaenys on social media. I saw this program on Twitter or X, and I'm so sad. I miss my homie. She was my favorite in the show. Rhaenys, the queen that never was, was always the realest. We'll see you when we get there in that dragon keep in the sky. And hopefully, We get to see a lot more with the dragons this season. I'm telling you, after they lost Meleys, because Meleys is the big son of Bass, I hope just Jacaerys rolls out the dragon seed plans and they start doing the claiming of the wild dragons. And I hope we see Nettles. That is my big wish. I want to see Nettles and Sheep Stealer. We already done met Ulf, who was just bragging about, being the, I guess, brother of Daemon and Viserys. We done met Hugh the Hammer. So really, and we met Alan and, his brother. So I hope for the black side, the next couple episodes going to be dedicated to, the dragon season, the unclaimed dragons and whatnot. And I want to see Nettles this season. Obviously, the biggest thing that I wish for long term is the battle between Daemon versus Aemon, because Aemon is a problem. I didn't mind him rocking Aegon this episode, but he is a menace. He's a force to be reckoned with. He's very smart. And I know that was probably not going to happen till either the next season or whatever the last season of this show going to be, because Daemon is too good of a character. But yeah, for now I really just hope we get more dragon seeds. Bring them on. So what are you most excited for? What part of the episode did you like or hate the most? Um Shout out to Maylis and Rhaenys again, the realists. And no matter what you think, or however side you land on, whether it's green or black, just remember you're the master of your fate and the captain of your soul. Bye.